And APB, American Protection Bureau, voted #1 best on Long Island for all your security needs. Call 631-390-9050. That's 631-390-9050. APB.
You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence, Collision Specialists, 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence.
Hey folks, it's your buddy Mike Messier here with the AEW Apologist, I believe number 24, which would be about 6 months. So special thanks to Monte The Pharaoh for having me here. And for you that have been watching, hopefully you're enjoying these commentaries and learning something, or at least debating something in your own mind. Maybe you agree with what I say, maybe you don't. I know a lot of people disagree with my take on this Tony Khan buys Ring of Honor developing news item, which was announced this past Wednesday at Daly's Place in Jacksonville. I happened to be there. I was in the audience. You can watch some clips from that show on Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, including a really popular clip I took of the MJF CM Punk dog collar situation. If you watch that on my YouTube channel, you'll see a different camera angle, obviously, than what you saw on TV. Now let's go to this Tony Khan buys ROH thing, Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, you may not know that I've actually attended, I think, about 6 or 7 Ring of Honor shows over the course of their existence, including some of their very first shows in Philadelphia. I was there when a guy named, I believe his wrestling name was Xavier, won the ROH title over Low Key. They had a tag team title tournament that I think... I want to say Christopher Daniels and a partner won that tournament. I saw some Michael Shane, Paul London ladder matches that were insane. So I can tell you that Ring of Honor, going way back to 2002, and then years later, I saw the Kings of Wrestling, Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, as he's also known as, and the wrestler formerly known as Cesaro. I saw them wrestle. Eddie Edwards and his partner, the American Wolves. That was a great match. So I saw that somewhere in Massachusetts. I saw Raven and CM Punk in a tag team match. I saw AJ Styles, I think, in a match against Christopher Daniels at an ROH show in 2003. So I've seen a lot of ROH stuff. Point is, I think a lot of fans have not seen this stuff, maybe younger fans, and for some of their wrestlers, some of their favorite wrestlers now, like a Bryan Danielson, a CM Punk, old school guys like myself who like Raven, the Briscoes, Tyler Black, who I believe changed his name and became Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, Kevin Steen. All these guys have roots of Ring of Honor. Now, what I don't know is how many of those videos did Tony Khan acquire in this purchase. I thought it was the whole thing, but my buddy there, Adam Demoy, is saying that it's only 20% of the video library. That question I'd like to know the answer to. But I think the whole point of this is whatever Tony Khan paid, somewhere between 30 and 60 million, where people are saying he paid for this Ring of Honor. And he got the tape library, or a portion of it. He got some rings. He got some video cameras. maybe some editing equipment or some computers, who knows? But whatever he paid for this stuff, can he make his money back? And I would actually say yes, because with this world of streaming, and once you own this content, I mean, talk to anyone in the film or TV or entertainment industry, broadcast industry, it's all about content, content, content. Everybody wants content, all these streaming services. And the advantage of purchasing this ROH library, as opposed to just going out and making more and more content from scratch, is that, first of all, the content's already done. It's already delivered. It's already there. Granted, the aspect ratios of some of these material might be 4:3, depending, once again, on how old the footage that Khan acquired. I don't know the answer to that, to tell you the truth. Did he get the stuff from 2002, 2003, or did he just get the newer stuff? I don't know the answer. But if he got the older stuff, the aspect ratio is a concern. The other thing is, though, that if AEW, if Tony Khan is ever going to do an AEW network per se, yes, similar to the WWE network or similar to the UFC Fight Pass, if Tony Khan's got plans for that, he needs more content. And ROH, that material is about as close to AEW without being AEW that you're going to get. He could have gone out and bought some video library from another company, if there was any. I'm sure there's plenty of wrestling companies. I mean, Top Rope Promotions in Fall River, Massachusetts has a great history. I don't know how much of that stuff they saved on video, but just one promotion. There's plenty of wrestling promotions that have video collections, but I think as far as the name brand of wrestlers, all the guys that I mentioned before, plus more, the Hardys, Eddie Guerrero wrestled a match. I think All In, the kind of the predecessor event to AEW, probably was part of this purchase, because that was apparently produced in a great part by Ring of Honor, and apparently they had the rights to that show. So I think Khan did a move that, see, this is the thing. I mean, I feel like sometimes I'm trying to educate the idiots of the world, because a lot of these WWE fans on Facebook are taking issue with a post I made about this purchase and saying, well, Vince paid 4 or 5 or 3 million or 2 million for WCW, and WCW was a lot more popular than ROH. Yes, that's true. However, Vince had no one. He had no one challenging him. He had no one bidding against. It's like on eBay when you bid for 99 cents and there's no other bidders. Vince had no one bidding against him. So he got a steal. He got a great deal, and good for Vince. And at the time, Vince and WWE used that WCW library basically for DVD sales and putting some of the WCW stuff onto special WCW DVDs, but also mixing like Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA Steel Cage at Starrcade was on that bloody Steel Cage matches DVD set, and so on and so forth. But the point is, that was then, this is now. You can't really make an apple to apple comparison, because if Khan was bidding against WWE for the purchasing rights to this Ring of Honor catalog, whatever that he got, well, then you have two bidders, and then the price goes up. That's how a fucking bid works. That's how an auction works. I try to explain this to some of these people, and they don't understand. Okay, so I just feel like the scope of intelligence is limited to some of the people that follow wrestling, and that sounds like a cruel thing to say, but it's accurate. So any fucking way. What else? I think Khan, look, here's the thing, folks. I'm not a rich man. I mean, look, I'm sitting here, by my pool. Okay, I'm enjoying the nice day and everything, but I'm not wealthy. I'm not fluid rich. Okay, I'm not claiming to be, but I do understand how some of these guys operate. And Khan would not have bought this ROH library if he didn't know what he was doing with it. And people are saying, well, maybe there's going to be an HBO stream, maybe there's going to be this, that, or the other. Who knows? We'll find out. Now, as far as that goes, that's well and good. The other thing, by the way, about this. Why the ROH thing was good purchase is because, now you kind of extended your own history, 17 years. Like you've taken the history of AEW, which only really started in 2018, 2019. Now you've added time to, your own thing. he's kind of bought the history, like, and will Khan run ROH as a separate entity and do separate ROH shows? I don't know. I don't think that's really a smart idea. I think maybe once a year, or once a year do a special ROH show with the ROH vibe, if you can, but ROH changed many times. Their vibe changed many times. And if you look at the history of ROH, the original owners got some controversy. The guy who created the thing, Rob Feinstein, to give him credit, he created ROH out of the ashes of ECW. And, much like Impact Wrestling or TNA Wrestling was from the ashes of WCW. So things change. But I think here it is, folks. Tony Khan purchasing ROH and not Vince, not WWE purchasing ROH. It's just another factor that says, Tony Khan's in this thing for the long run, okay? This may not be a 5-year wrestling promotion. This might be around till we all die, okay? Now we look forward to this pay-per-view coming up tomorrow night here in Florida. It'll be from Orlando, Florida, which is a great town. I've gone there for many things. And in Orlando, we've got the dog collar match, which I think is kind of, taking over as the main event. CM Punk, MJF did a great follow-up promo this past Wednesday. I was there. Like I said, subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. Has an exclusive video coverage of that you won't see on TV. Bloody situation. I also saw CM Punk's interview promo from Rampage that was aired last night in the dressing room. I think it's going to be good. I mean, I think that these guys, Punk and MJF, have put together some real emotional investment for this dog collar match. Now they just have to live up to their expectations or our expectations of the match. But the feud so far has been great. Their 39-minute match, a month ago was awesome, and now we go to dog collar. Will this be the show that Wardlow finally breaks free from MJF? I mean, that's at some point they're going to have to pull the trigger on that, because it's getting to be like, if they just keep Wardlow as the reluctant monster, they got to turn him face really soon. I don't see how they cannot. So maybe Wardlow will also win this 6-man thing. Keith Lee's in there. The 2 women's title matches, Tay Conti and Jade Cargill, shit. I mean, Tay Conti is a gorgeous woman, and Jade's very attractive too. It really depends on what you like with your I mean, not to just judge these women by but what I'm getting at is they're not the best workers, to be quite honest with you. Jade Cargill, although she has this TNT title, she's very green. Tay Conti is really just adorable, and she's very, that match she had was awesome, December 29th at Daly's Place. I was there for that. Tay Conti and Anna Jay versus Penelope Ford and the Bunny. The match was better in person, to be honest with you, because they did so much picture-in-picture on the TV coverage. But if Tay Conti, I respect her as an athlete. I respect Jay Cargill, but I just feel like they're both kind of green. Like I don't see that match being terribly good, but they could surprise me. I would assume Jade's going to retain the title and keep her undefeated streak. Dr. Britt Baker and Thunder Rosa. It could go either way. I do feel like it would make things a little more interesting if Thunder Rosa were win the title, even if she Dr. Britt gets it back. But I think Thunder Rosa's got to win this one. But it could go, Dr. Britt could win. Who knows? But the match that's really getting kind of overwhelmed here, in my opinion, that's not getting a lot of interest, or it doesn't have my interest, I should say, but I think it will deliver in the ring, is this title match. Adam Cole challenging Adam Page, Hangman Adam Page, who I think is a great talent. I don't think he's been used particularly well as champion. He doesn't appear on television all the time. It doesn't seem like he's the centerpiece of the federation, of the AEW. It seems kind of like he's overshadowed by the other things going on, by the Bryan Danielson Moxley feud, which is great, the Jericho Kingston feud, which is great. They're all going to have these payoff matches tomorrow night in the pay-per-view. It's going to be a great pay-per-view. I get no residual if you watch it, so watch it or don't. But I think it's going to be a great show. I bought my ticket to the movie theater. I'll be in the comfort of the nice movie theater. That's one thing they don't promote. Is I'll tell you this, folks. If you want to hear a little critique of AEW, they really do a great show whenever they're at Daly's place in Jacksonville, but the crowd is usually not filled. Okay, I've been there for maybe 30 or 40 shows, and maybe twice they had a really big crowd at Daly's place. They don't do a good job of penetrating the market with marketing here in Jacksonville. I've talked to many people in Jacksonville. I typically, if I'm wearing a wrestling T-shirt or some such thing, and people will talk to me about wrestling, and I'll say, "Oh yeah, there's AEW in town," and they have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the regular common person, okay, who is kind of a marginal wrestling fan or a lapsed wrestling fan, as they say. A lot of people here in Jacksonville do not know that AEW is even here, or they don't know that it exists. And I'm not. I'm just saying that. The reason why they're not selling all the tickets at Daly's place usually is because people don't know that they're here. So a lot of times when there's a big crowd at Jacksonville at Daly's place for AEW, it's because people are coming in from other towns, from other states, New York or Georgia, okay? So what the fuck? So in any event, what else? Okay, so other wrestling things this week. Vince McMahon did this whole thing with Pat McAfee. There was all this talk about Pat McAfee versus Vince McMahon Jr. at WrestleMania. And I think that was just something the WWE leaked to Meltzer, whoever, just to get that buzz, to have people tune in to watch their interview, McMahon on the McAfee show. And look, Vince, I've watched about 2/3 of the interview. Longer than I thought it would be. Vince is very relaxed. I'll give credit to my buddy Kevin Castle. He said that Vince looked very good in this interview, looked rejuvenated. He did look good, and he did sound good. So he seemed very relaxed and likable, even, So I thought that was a good interview. But I just caught a glimpse of SmackDown last night, and Pat McAfee was kind of called out by Austin Theory. So apparently it's going to be Austin Theory versus Pat McAfee at WrestleMania, which I think is good because I don't think Vince at age 76 needs to be taking bumps. I just don't. I mean, sorry. I don't think there's anything for him to prove by going in there and taking a bunch of bumps, all right? So what else? That WrestleMania card, 2 nights in Dallas. Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte. It's funny because I kind of forgot that, but they had that Survivor Series 2018 match. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just, I think more people are probably pound for pound, excitement level for excitement level. It seems like there's more excitement for AEW Revolution tomorrow night than there is for WrestleMania. Now, granted, we have over a month before WrestleMania, I believe, just about a month. It's March 5th when I'm doing this, and WrestleMania is the first week of April. So, I think they'll figure some things out. But when you're talking about, Jackass being there and stuff like that, it doesn't, Johnny Knoxville doesn't impress me much, like Shania Twain said, okay? So, what else? Going around the wrestling circuit, I did invest in this NWA thing. This NWA All Access package. I put my $50 into it. I'm looking forward to this Crockett Cup next weekend. You might be saying, gee whiz, Mike, what's that? Well, the Crockett Cup this year will be a 16-man tournament, and it's a 2-night pay-per-view. It's a Saturday and Sunday, which you can get both nights for $24.95 each, or $44.95 for both. Or I did the whole access thing, the All Access Pass, and apparently I'll be getting all these NWA pay-per-views. I guess they're going to do 4 pay-per-views over the course of the year, and I'll have access to them, along with some of their backlog. Now, this is a little screw job because I thought that when I was purchasing this NWA All Access Pass, I was getting access to all the Billy Corgan run NWA. Well, you're not, or I'm not. You're getting like half, okay, of their back catalog. So anyway, it's been a very interesting week, wrestling fans. Also in Orlando tomorrow. Once again, is that exciting thing of choose your narrative or whatever, control your narrative. EC3, who's kind of like, he was like the MJF of 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Then he went to WWE and got sacrificed like a lamb. But EC3 and Adam Schuer, kind of interesting that he's ended up there. But they're doing this control your narrative thing, which is interesting. And there's a lot of stuff going on. GCW, everybody, the wrestling world, I don't want to say is on fire. I don't want to put that emoji up there, the fucking fire emoji, but I want to give it credit. I think the wrestling world is doing quite well for itself. I mean, and here's the thing, folks. If you're going to compare numbers and money of now, like present day 2022, to the numbers and the money of 20 years ago, or the ratings or whatever of 20 years ago, it's not the same. It's a different dynamic. People watch TV differently. I tape a lot of things on YouTube TV and watch it in my pleasure so I can zip through the commercials. People watch things on their phones now, okay? So, I mean, people get all hung up about, the ratings stink and blah, 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 blah. It's just a different world. It's a different world. It really is. So, I mean, a different world, Lisa Bonet, from where you came from. Oh, my God. So I did see that Batman movie, by the way. It was good. Zoe Kravitz as the Catwoman looked nice. All these wonderful things. More clips on Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel. More insights. Revolution tomorrow. What am I going to predict? I will predict Adam Cole holds on to the title. I'm sorry, Adam Page holds on to the title. Hangman Adam Page retains, to be clear. Champion retains. I will predict CM Punk over MJF in the dog collar, and then I will predict the Wardlow MJF split. As far as that 6-man thing goes, I guess I'll go with Wardlow. I could almost go with Keith Lee, but I guess I'll go with Wardlow for that 6-man Face of the Revolution match. The women's, I'm going to predict Jade to retain. I'm going to predict Thunder with the upset. They had a nice TNT title match last night on Rampage. Sammy Guevara retained the title, and he's in this big 6-man tag. I'm actually going to predict the bad guys, Andre Idolode or whatever, and Matt Hardy and Isaiah Kennedy. I'm going to predict them. That 6-man, 3 tag team title match, Jurassic Express, Red Dragon, and the Bucks. I guess I'm going to stick with. I want to predict the tag team champions retain, and that kind of leads us to a Young Bucks Red Dragon feud of some kind. I'm sure there's plenty of pretty stacked matches. Bryan Danielson and Moxley, Mox. I'm gonna predict Danielson, and then I think Moxley will be forced to be his partner somehow, and then you got. The Jericho Kingston match, and I'm pulling. I think they got to make Eddie Kingston win this thing, because I think Eddie Kingston, he's got to win eventually. He can talk great, but it's kind of like Samoa Joe in WWE. 5 years ago, you got to win the fucking big one once in a while, and I think that they've already kind of played this card once with CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. Oh, this guy can't win the big one. Well, now he's got to win it, because otherwise you're kind of wasting a talent. And no offense to Jericho, but Jericho has lost to guys like, what's his dick, Orange Cassidy in the Mimosa match and so forth. So it's not going to hurt Jericho to put Eddie over. But if Eddie doesn't win, it's like you can't just have this guy be there and talk all the time. So did I answer all your goddamn questions, folks? I mean, did I solve your wrestling problems for the week? I hope so. But it is what it is. Subscribe to Mike Messier YouTube channel, Monte The Pharaoh. Very excited for this Jesse the Body Ventura interview coming up soon, or Jesse the Mind Ventura, Jesse the Governor Ventura. I've been listening to his book, like I said last week, the fucking JFK conspiracy book. Good listen. I wish Jesse was reading the Audible version, but he's not. Some other guy is. I don't know if you've ever listened to the Dusty Rhodes Audible book. It's horrible. Like, the guy that reads Dusty Rhodes' book just does a shit job of it. My book, A Distance from Avalon, of course, you can find on Amazon, and also Fight or Play Basketball, my young adult sports book. So that's it, folks. It's Mike Messier, the AEW Apologist number 24, saying goodbye from poolside.